I bet you're wondering how I turned this into this. No, it was not editing magic. We got two, count them, two Diamond Select Marvel Spider-Man PS4 figures. So with our man's fists over here, fists is the stock figure. First, we have the difference in head movement. Fists over here, my man's, that's as far as he can look up. Open hands over here, the custom guy, look how far he's looking up. Beautiful. Again, looking down, stock figure fists, open hands, he's been modified. Now, I'm not trying to insult this figure. I think this figure is one of the best sculpted Spider-Man that I have in my collection, and it's really beautiful and really well done. And I just think with a few improvements in the engineering for the articulation, it could have been perfect, but it's a solid 8.5 figure as is. So what I will show you guys like later is what the damage is to this figure. Now, it's not damage per se, but what I've adjusted to make this figure be able to move more, except over here in the shoulders. I did go in and trim, but I'm not about to grab my hair dryer or whatever and pull this guy apart like that. I can somewhat easier take apart their torso, which we will get to. And like how I brought up the torso, this is like the biggest improvement I did in terms of articulation. So my man's over here. This is as far as he's bending forward. And that's not terrible, but it's not great. And this is how far he bends back. Again, not terrible, but not great. We gonna try and set him back up. He's been falling. I don't know what that's about. Okay, cool. My man's over here. Watch. Oh! Oh man. Oh, look at that. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a little bit of gappage. Actually, not in the back, but there's a little bit of gappage in the front. But that's the sacrifice I had to make to my figure to get more articulation. Now, if you wanna do this stuff, I will advise, if you are a minor, have a parent with you. And if you're an adult, be careful. Oh no. He's taking it apart. No, okay, yeah, I'm just being ridiculous. But this, I want to show you guys this first. Let's focus. This is what I did to the waist piece. And what I essentially did was trim out a little extra plastic in here and then kind of sanded it down. Everything I've done has been X-Acto knife and sandpaper. It's a very cheap build. I don't have a bunch of tools or anything. It's just very cheap what I have on hand. But I shaved out this extra plastic and I didn't really do anything to the ball here. What I did do was carve out this hole. Hold on, can we focus? Carve out this hole and just sandpapered it. So when it connects, let's see if we can do it. He goes like this. And like I said, a little bit of gappage up front, but that's a sacrifice I was willing to make. With the upper torso, similar idea. I carved around and then sandpapered it, but I try to make sure not to disrupt the sculpt too much. Unfortunately, on the back here, you can see there's a little cut. I did a little too much, but I'll be able to fix that. But this is just sandpaper and X-Acto knife and dreams. And obviously, I heated it up with a hair dryer. I didn't heat it up with hot water. I don't really use hot water because I feel like hot water over time is gonna weaken the plastic on the figure. But yeah, now we have a lot more forward and back movement, and I really like that. And I also, to add to that, this is real ugly, real jacked up, but did a similar thing in here. So I can just probably pop this back on really easily. Let's try. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, he doesn't come apart really easily. I have to use a little bit of force. So it like pops together, kind of like a lot of import figures. And then I did the similar process on the neck here. And unfortunately did have to do the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Retro Spidey Trench. But unlike them, hold on. Oh, behind the camera strength, yeah. Off the camera strength, definitely works. So there is a little bit of a gap, but it's not too severe, right? So from the side, it appears. From the back, it will appear. But that, again, my figure, my choice, you know. And then it doesn't really appear from the sides. Now, from the top, also, no gap. He's just able to look up, look back. So I can get him in some crazy poses. I'm not the best poser. So I couldn't get him into a 4-point stance, even with the alterations I made. You can't get him into the true Spidey 4-point stance unless you really like go in there and alter the sculpt, and I'm not that great of a sculptor to be able to do that and like fix things like that. So I'm just working within my ability, but he can touch his toes and still be able to look up kind of a little bit. And my man's over here, he's suffering, but that's okay because this is actually just a vehicle. Well, maybe he can. Maybe he can. Well, he can't look up, but I'm not trying to jack the neck up more. But this is actually the vehicle to prove that I can do this again with him. This guy is going to get a custom paint job. He may be more in depth, closer to that Robin video I posted a few years ago, where you actually see me doing some of the painting and stuff like that. So hopefully you enjoy. Hopefully this inspired you. If not, then that's okay. If you just thought this was entertaining, at least I'll accept it. So thank you, and make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and just check out more. Now, you'll never believe where I got these figures. So I got these figures a long time ago at Entertainment Earth. And if you go to the links in my description, you can get some nice discounts on some figures on Entertainment Earth.